It is winning time here on JRod and the Boss Lady. Welcome to our weekly Winner Winners. It's week 4 of the NFL. We've been having a fantastic run to the start of this NFL season. 4-1 last week in week 3. I hope you got some of that. 11-3-1 overall. And we like to thank all our buddies, especially Jerry Skelton over at winwithsports.com for their principal sponsor of this weekly segment here on JRod and the Boss Lady. Hit them up, winwithsports.com, winwithsports.com. You can call them 866-258-7060, 866-258-7060. They've got all your information, all your sports, all your betting, and not just NFL. They've got college, they've got baseball, now that the baseball playoffs are coming. NBA's coming. Hit them up. Talk to Jerry at winwithsports.com. You can hit him up on Twitter as well at winwithsports1. So let's get to winning. Let's open it up with the Chiefs at the Lions. Kansas City at Detroit. Interesting matchup here because Matthew Stafford, the all-pro stud quarterback of the Lions, well, he's got a hip injury. Now, he's been listed as questionable. He's going to play, but you got to wonder what that's going to do to the offense. Listen, Chiefs are 3-0, although they did not cover last week against the Ravens. The Lions have been my Cinderella this year. 2-0-1, and they're 2-0-1 against the spread. Had them covering against the Chargers, they won. Had them covering against the Eagles last week, and they won. Now, I'm going to stay away from the points, especially if we don't know about Stafford. I don't know. We're going to stay away from the spread, rather. Right now, it's the Chiefs -7 on the road. I want to take the Lions. I think they'll cover, but I think your sure bet is the over. Over-under is 55. Listen, this is a no-brainer. We're indoors. We're in Detroit, so the weather won't be an issue, and the Chiefs are a machine. Think about it. 25 straight games, they've scored at least 25 points. That's an NFL record. Pat Mahomes, in 3 games, almost 1,200 pass yards. They are a machine. The Chiefs' 3 games this year, the total has been 55. So even if Stafford doesn't play, I think the Chiefs will get that all by themselves, or they'll get close to it. And if he does play, 55 is an easy over. So Chiefs and the Lions take the over 55. The next game on our play sheet is an interesting one. It's an old school NFC East game. It's the Redskins and the Giants. Now, the Giants last week shocked the world, although I had them, by the way. If you listened and you watch to our weekly winners here on JRod and the Boss Lady, I told you to take the Giants and the points. They won straight out. Daniel Jones' era has begun in the Meadowlands. 336 yards passing. He threw for 2 touchdowns, and he ran for 2 touchdowns. Nobody's done that since like the merger. So good for Daniel Jones, good for the Giants, good for the bettors if you had it. So they're at home against the Redskins. Interesting game. Washington, they laid an egg on Monday night against the Bears. The New York secondary is terrible. The Redskins offensive line belittled with injury. So there's going to be points in this game. The over-under is 49.5. Think about it. The Giants defense has given up 94 points in 3 games. Do the math. That's 31 points a game. The Redskins, even with all their problems, they score about 21 points a game through the first 3. So 49.5, that's an easy over. Redskins, Giants in the Meadowlands. Daniel Jones' era has begun. I'll take the over 49.5. All right, let's go to the West Coast and some of the late games now. Tampa Bay, they go across country. They go to L.A. to play the Rams at the Coliseum. Curious thing about the NFC champion Rams, they're 3-0. Not surprising. What's surprising is they haven't played well at all, and yet they're 3-0. The Buccaneers, a bit of an enigma. One week they look good, one week they look, well, like the Buccaneers. Listen, I think this all changes for Sean McVay and the Rams. I think their offense is going to gel. I think their offense is going to come together. I mean, Goff hasn't played well. They're babying Gurley. They just got too many weapons. And for Tampa Bay, well, they're kind of in the process of rebuilding, of rebranding, of what are they going to do with that team. The Rams, they're going back to Miami here for the Super Bowl. They are on a mission. They're going to win the game, and don't be afraid of that number. It's the Rams -10. I think the Rams will cover that easy. They may struggle in the first quarter, but I think they're going to get it together. I think the defense is going to show. I think this is going to be a highlight reel game for the LA Rams. All the way. Take the Rams -10. Shoot, they might even win by 20. Time for the Sunday Night Delight. Pretty good one for NBC and Sunday Night Football. It's the Cowboys and the Saints in the Bayou over at the Superdome in New Orleans. Now, I like what I'm seeing here in terms of what the Cowboys are doing. They've got, kind of like the Rams haven't gotten started, the Cowboys have gotten started. 31 points a game they've scored. Not averaged. They have scored at least 31 points a game so far this season. The Saints, well, they kind of watered down the offense a little bit for Teddy Bridgewater, and it worked. They beat the Seahawks, so now they come home. This is going to be an interesting matchup. Cowboys -3. You know, the Cowboys haven't played well in New Orleans, but it's Dak Prescott's return. He's from Louisiana. He hasn't played in the Superdome since, I don't know, since high school. So it's going to be lots of Cowboy fans, lots of Dak Prescott fans. They've got it going with Ezekiel Elliott. As you know, I'd like to not bet, and I like to not go with the Cowboys. They seem to scare me a lot, especially like the Browns. You ever bet on the Browns and they always lose? That's kind of how I feel with the Cowboys. I'm going to put it to a test this week. I like the Cowboys -3 at New Orleans. I think it's going to be a slug. I wouldn't even be surprised if this thing ends up being a push. But I think the Cowboys win, and they're going to cover the 3, I hope. Cowboys -3 Sunday night in the Superdome. Monday Night Football, bit of a stinker. Bengals and the Steelers. But God bless us all. This is why we live in America. Because you can bet on it. So, 0-3 Cincinnati at 0-3 Pittsburgh. Who do you take? Got to go with the home team, right? Got to go with the Steelers. Now, this game, this rivalry, kind of has been watered down a little bit. No Vontaze Burfict, no Adam Jones, no Antonio Brown, no Ben Roethlisberger, no Le'Veon Bell. But it's still a very good defense for the Steelers. Hey, I told you to take them plus the 4 points against the 49ers, and they covered. It was a good week for the Road Dogs here on JRod and the Boss Lady. Well, I say take the Steelers again, but this time they're giving 3.5 points. They're going to cover. Cincinnati's offense, they don't know what they're doing. You know, Andy Dalton, where have you gone, my friend? They don't know what's going on, but I think Mason Rudolph gets his first win as a starter. I think they're going to dominate the game as best as they can. The Steelers still have a pretty good defense. If they score enough points to win, they will. And also, remember, it's still the Bengals being the Bengals. They've lost 8 straight games in Pittsburgh. They're 1-11 in their last 12 at Heinz Field. They're not going to win the game, and they're not going to cover. Monday night, the O must go. It's going to be the Steelers' O as Pittsburgh wins, and they're going to cover -3.5. Remember, every week right here, JRod and the Boss Lady on YouTube, on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, all SoundCloud, all the places you get your podcasts, as well as YouTube, right here, NFL Picks, and it all thanks to winwithsports.com. Winwithsports.com. Give them a call, 866-258-7060. They've got all your information, all your angles, all the sharps. They go there. Talk to my guy, Jerry, 866-258-7060. Winwithsports.com. Hit them up on Twitter as well at winwithsports1. Don't forget, new JRod and the Boss Lady every Sunday. Wednesdays, Spanish word of the day. We had a good time this week. Hope to see you there. 4-1 last week, 11-3-1 overall. Let's keep the winning going. I'm Jim Rodriguez. We'll talk to you next week.